Look at what was announced today.
A bipartisan group of senators introduced legislation today meant to protect kids online. If passed, the bill would ban kids under the age of 13 from using social media. It would also require parental consent before the age of 18 and restrict platforms' abilities to use algorithms for users under 18. NBC News congressional correspondent Julie Sirkin joins us on this from Capitol Hill. Hey, Julie, so I think a lot of people might hear this and think, well, of course, I'm already doing that in my own home. I would not let my child have any of these apps, maybe not even have a cell phone in some cases before the age of 13. I don't need the government to tell me that. But what exactly does this mean that lawmakers are trying to do that would maybe make that a little bit easier? What is it?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And it sort of makes it official, right? And who introduced this bill is almost as interesting as what it actually does. And the lawmakers that introduced it are a group of four, Senator Cotton and Schatz being the main writers of this bill. They could not be more on opposite sides of the spectrum when it comes to pretty much everything else under the sun as it relates to policy. But you see them here coming together. What you're seeing on your screen is a press conference they held a few hours ago to unveil this bill. Take a listen to what Katie Britt, one senator on the bill, had to say in what bonds them, because it is certainly the fact that all of them are mothers and fathers. Watch.
I have sat across from a father who showed me the last picture of his beautiful daughter who died by suicide the next day. Y'all, enough is enough.
Does this seem tough to enforce, though, Julie? And also, I mean, it's sort of what the rules already are. You're not supposed to be able, even the apps say so, to go on them before the age of 13. So how would the government's involvement here change this? Who would be penalized if those rules are broken?
Yeah, Savannah, it's such a good question because, of course, anything like this becomes hard to enforce, even if it is passed. But a couple of ways the lawmakers are going to try to make this a little bit easier is actually direct state attorneys general to be on top of this and monitor the social media programs themselves. Also, the Federal Trade Commission is going to be involved in this, too. And they're also going to build out some kind of mechanism to force these apps to implement a verification process. This would be controlled by the government, according to the bill's authors. And this is all in an effort, again, to control the influence that all of these social media companies, TikTok, Instagram included, are having on young kids. You mentioned a really important point. They do technically ban anyone younger than 13 from being on the app. At least TikTok most certainly does. But as we heard in the hearing when the CEO testified, and you covered well, that's not stopping these young children from getting access to it anyway. So parents are going to be armed by this bill, by the help of the government, to try and enforce some of that at home.